All right, today's video is going to be continuing with the second bow kata, Urashi Bo. In last week's video, we did the first section, and this week we'll run through it kind of quickly and then start picking up to go through the second section. Urashi Bo, Bo 2. Let's go through it step by step first. Kazume, Kitsuke, great. Kazume, kata, Urashi Bo. Pull around, twist, down block, overhead strike, cat stance with a down block, reverse strike, hit, pull down, side, side, switch grip, side. Bring it to your left side and step in, block out to the corner. Bring it back to your left, 1, 2. Bring it to your right side, step in, block. Back to your side, 1, thrust. Now here's where we let go of the bow and we slap it up and come down back into a forward long stance, 2 low strikes, then overhead, temple strike, chin, head, temple, temple, snap strike forward and back feet together. Now that was the first section, and if you want to review that, watch that section a couple of times, do it so that you're familiar with it. Now here's the next section. We're going to go over to our left and we switch the grip of the bow. So we were here with our right palm up. Now we're going to switch it so our right palm is down, and we'll switch the left hand and bring the bow over to your right shoulder. Looking out to the left, push block, and then overhead strike. Then cat stance, and then double down, overhead strike, temple strikes, up, down, and then snap in and feet together for your block. Switch the grip, bring it to your left shoulder, turn and push in, overhead strike, cat stance, double low strikes, over, temple, temple, up, down, side, side, snap strike again, and feet together block. Now we're going to come forward. We step into a Zenku Tsudachi, forward long stance with our left leg, and we do a push block. So the bow comes across the body this way, and then we stab down. But when we stab down, we shift our feet so they point the other way. So when our first step coming forward is a forward long stance, and now we shift and we turn them back as we stab the bow down, pull it back. We're in a backward long stance. Now, our next move is to turn facing the other direction. And it's going to be a very similar series to what you did coming forward. We're just going to start with a push block instead of a down block. So bring the bow back to your left shoulder, looking to the back, and just change your stance to get into a nice long stance in that direction. The next move is the overhead strike, and then it's going to follow the same pattern as to what you did stepping forward. So I'm going to do it slowly. So you notice it's the same pattern you did moving forward on the line at the beginning section of this kata. We just do it going back. The only difference is it starts with a push block instead of a down block. I'm going to do the kata again from the beginning to that ending section one more time, and I'm going to do it sideways so you can see which way I'm stepping and moving. Just going to adjust the camera a little bit so you can see all the motions better. Right. Kitsuke, great. Kata, Urashi Bo. forward. Did you see that? Same pattern going forward as going back. So this is the next section that I want you to practice on this second bow kata. Remember, as you're learning this kata, you've probably been doing bow for a while. Here's some fine points that you want to make sure you're executing as you're doing the moves. On the snapping strike, get a full twist of your wrist. And start with the wrist bend outward when it's in the chambered position, and then twist it over the top. This is similar to a karate punch that you see other styles of karate do. In Ishin-Ryu, we punch straight, but many other karate styles do that turn. So we start from a palm up position with our pushing hand to a palm down position. The other hand should stay stable. It shouldn't be moving. It shouldn't be extending out. It shouldn't be twisting. It just stays right where it is, push forward. Also, watch out for this common mistake. Sometimes people start to push, but then they bring their forward hand back in. And so it's like this hand is meeting the back. No, what we want to do is have it reach forward as far as it can. So the bow should push as much distance as in between your hands. That's how far the bow should push forward. The back end of the bow is under the armpit there, and you pull back. If you extend that front hand too far, you'll never reach. You'll never reach it. Keep it bent, keep it in position. That's your guide to aim the bow. So the bow slides along that guide and pulls back. That's a good snapping strike. So work on that. Secondly, the circle block. Circle block. Get a good outward wrist turn, outward, and then up and around. Outward and around. If you just do a small motion, well, that's okay as you're starting to learn the bow, but now that you've been doing it for a while, get a fuller circle by twisting the wrist out. That's actually a block as well. And then come around. Block and circle. And the other hand has some movement with it as well to get the body and the arms working together to get a good circle block. Those are a couple of things to remember. Another thing is on your reverse strikes or overhead strikes or side strikes, whichever way you're pushing the bow, make sure your hand is in the position to push it sideways. When I'm going sideways here, I want my palm behind the bow like this. If my hand is in the wrong position, I'm not going to get a solid strike. When I do the reverse strike, it pushes back here. This is common. I see a lot of people putting their hand on top. Turn it all the way in. And on the overhead strike, of course, pushing down. So your palm's on top of the bow as you're striking down. So learning a new bow kata, you've already probably learned the first bow kata, Tokumine no kun. Now that you're working on the second bow kata, the bow technique has to be better as well. So the motion of the bow, the control of the bow, the hand positions on the bow, work on these skills and your bow technique will improve completely on both your first kata and on this second kata that you're learning. Watch this first section a few more times and practice along with me so that you can get this part of the bow 2 kata down. Urashi Bo, we're building up on it, keep it up.